Give me a minute, guys. All right. Okay, we should be going live right now. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Hey,
Anyway,
even car trouble tonight couldn't keep me away from Fanatic Night Audience.
Sure.
Yeah. Of all days, the busiest day of the week for me, yet, and the final job we hit, all of a sudden, smoke just started coming out of our engine as we were coming back.
Krista, can you pull up the mic? Because you sound
pretty, yeah, sound a little bit low.
Okay, you guys hear me now, right?
No.
Okay.
Still so far. Is it your headphones?
Dumping the mic, bro?
You guys hear me now?
You sound even further.
Nah. You sound here in the bathroom across the street, bro. Trying to scream.
Okay, I hope it doesn't.
Whatever you were doing pre-show, do that again. That was
Yeah, it started like this the moment you went live.
Okay, how about now, guys?
You sound perfect.
That's fine.
Okay. You see, audience, this is what I get for spending $5 on a headset at a garage sale. All right, Hey, I'm already paying monthly for this. I have to cut corners somewhere on budget. All right.
I was about to say, if you think mine sound okay, I got these for like I got a pack of these for like $10 or whatever.
I prefer to support the direct market retailers, and in this case, it was a nice old lady.
You see how they support you? But all right.
They support me with a smile and customer satisfaction.
Speaking of which, I think we should get started because we're already late, thanks to me. So.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, welcome to Comic Fanatic Live. Okay, move on. It's me, Crypto Secret 415. Okay, move on.
Jake Tylenol, Metro New England, smile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm Guy. Bring you on. Let's move on. Let's go. One guy post was that you don't get that.
And together,
follow us on Comic Fanatic 69, all that yada yada.
Yeah, and together we are the Fanatics, and we release on Tuesday. Yada yada. And
all right,
let's get started.
Yeah, let's get started. All right, Jake, this is you. This is a troll meme, by the way. You know that, right?
Yes. Yeah. So this is Smile 2. The premise being, I don't have time to put it. About 12 days after the events of the first movie, Sky Riley, famous pop star, will now suffer a fate worse than death as she is tormented by a demon that feeds off of trauma, all while trying to hold a concert for the masses. That was just me doing that. Yeah. Actually, this movie is a significant. So I liked the first Smile. I think I really like. I like the concept of the Smile Demon, which is something that we've seen before in other movies. But I think I just liked how kind of like ruthless this was. Just this idea that you're just going through something that you can't explain reasonably. The way the movie was framed was just like she's not, the main character wasn't crazy. But how do you convince people you're not crazy when you're saying that a demon that they can't see is after you, and you also have a history of mental illness in your family as well? And it was kind of like watching her spiral. I think was really interesting to me, and just how mean the demon would be. Even at her lowest, the demon would kick her while she's down. I was like, this dude's fucking.
Yo, this sounds like a more expanded version of that Twilight Zone episode, The Airplane.
Oh, I haven't seen that episode. So.
Oh, really? Well, you get the premise. Only one guy in that whole airplane notices this creature is screwing around the wing, but nobody sees him, and everybody's looking at him as if he's crazy. So.
Oh, I feel like that's been referenced before in other guys. The kid looks at the
plane. Yeah, so many times, man. Yeah. Icon.
This movie focuses on Sky Riley. As I've mentioned before, she is a pop star who has already failed once due to hardcore drug abuse. And now she is getting a revival tour. She's making her comeback. But on the way there, she gets a little bit traumatized, and now the Smile Demon has infected her. the director has really stepped up his game since that movie. There's a lot of experimental camera angles that he uses, tricks of the trade. I was watching the first movie after watching this movie, and this movie made the first movie look worse. Like,
Whoa!
just knowing how much better he got, which is it's a compliment, but he significantly improved in his visual style. A lot of like weird, awkward angles, but like used to the benefit of making people feel uncomfortable. We have a lot of spinning shots, upside down shots, and there was even like one scene I think you see in the trailer, where there's like I'm not gonna spoil it, but it is like it's Riley versus people in a hallway, basically. I was just watching this movie with my buddy Tony, and he was really entertaining him as much as it entertained me in the theater. So I was really happy about that. There also the sound quality in theaters is like insane because while Smile relishes off jump scares, this movie ups the ante by using sound against you. So even if you know that a jump scare is coming, it doesn't mean it won't get you even a little bit. There were several jump scares where, like, again, I knew it was coming, but what came around the corner based off how I heard it and how it was presented made me jump out of my seat a little. So,
oh wow,
yeah. And so I do. As far as the story goes, I actually felt really bad for Riley. This deals with like a really real situation for her, like where it's like she's going through something, and and basically she just needs someone. She wants someone to talk to, but everyone's too busy to really deal with her problems, especially because they all have their own problems, which is something that a lot of people deal with in real life. Like how many times you're going through something, you want to just tell somebody like, "Hey, this is happening in my life," but they're like, "Hey, I can't talk to you right now. I'm busy. I gotta do something else. I want to help you, but let me do this first." There's basically a lot of that going on. There's one moment where like her best friend Gemma, for instance, who does come to her rescue at the very beginning of the film, but quickly she has to diverge and do her own thing. Like Riley just really is on her own, so like she's an island to herself. And so every time the demon's tormenting her, you just want to like. I mean, personally, me, I just wanted to help her. I just like, come on, man. It also led to a really sad scene at the end that really punctuated how lonely Riley is in all this. Like, it was a scene that tugged at my heartstrings, honestly.
wow.
Where you just realize like how like where they emphasize like, no, she is alone. Basically, there's like no one who's gonna save her. And it was just really heartbreaking. And her acting too. The actress who I believe was in a Power Rangers movie, the 2017 one. This is Naomi Scott, the actress. She does a remarkable job. There is like one scene in particular in the third act where something like traumatizing happens, and the way the actress communicates how this is affecting her was like insane to me. Like I thought it was like really happening to her. I have to give her multiple props. And seeing her mental breakdown just felt like super authentic. Like I can't give her enough praise. I think the movie's ending would have to be the reason I had to watch this twice is because of the movie's ending, which is a great setup for Smile 3. I will say I'm like super excited to see what they're going to do to fulfill on the promise that this movie leaves off of. But the journey getting there, it's kind of like it depends on how you feel about that type of writing, I should say. Basically, I don't know how to say it without spoilers, but based on how you see this type of writing style, will really depend on how the ending takes you. I should feel, like I said, I did see this with my buddy Tony, and he enjoyed it, and he was actually really interested in the sequel going forward. So I guess that's another perspective. Me, I also really enjoyed it, but it also made me want to go back and rewatch it and see if I picked up the clues leading to that point. But I'm highly invested in like the future of this, like, this universe we got going on here. I think after 2 watches, I want to give this an 8 out of 10. I think that should be fair to say. I think in terms of like any other critiques I have, there are a lot of fake outs in the movie. I would have liked a better mixture. I think there was like a plot element introduced early on in the film, which I felt should have been a real thing because like the subject matter of what Riley is, and how that could affect her like in her work life. But it wound up being a fake out for the demon, which to be fair, the demon is a dick. He's more of a dick than he is in the first film. But like I really felt like some of the stuff that the demon was doing could have been relegated to things that were really happening to her. So like I just feel like maybe next time, like, mix it up a bit, I would say. But all in all, like, I'm really proud of the director, really stepped up his game, really stepped up his storytelling. And all in all, like I said, 8 out of 10. So there you go.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, it's an appropriate movie to be watching around during these times, after all,
Yeah, it's true. There is one
Yeah.
scene though where one thing I do want to bring up too. There's like one scene where like so her mom is like her manager, and they play it up as like she's like abusing her kid because she cares more about the show than anything else. And they have this one scene where like the mom dresses down, basically like no, bitch, I'm only in this situation because of you.
Whoa.
You put me in this situation that I'm in right now. This is not my fault. Do not put this on me.
Hey, child star parents, can you expect any less?
Well, the crazy thing was when she goes over why she is the way she is. I 100% understand why the mom feels the way she does, and in a way, I can see her being justified. So like and don't get me wrong, Riley is also justified in her feelings, but the mom is like equally like, no, like I'm in this situation because of you. So like you gotta step up. I need you to suck it up, whatever's going on. So like I get it. But yeah, like I said, enjoyable movie. Please go see it. Really good. So.
Gotcha. But alrighty then. I guess with that, we can move on to the next topic, audience. And I got this one. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 25. Now, of course, hey, when it comes to these quarter issues, like, of course, they want to do something a little special because, like, on top of, Miles getting a new suit in here, guess what? He also gets a team up that's significant to something Peter was known for. So, yeah, chalk that up as something else Miles is getting a hand-me-down from, Well, let's get into the issue. So, yeah, audience, this is where Black Panther comes in. And yeah, they justify why exactly Miles needs a new suit, specifically made of vibranium. It's because all the power-ups he got with his Venom Blast mixed together with the vampire DNA he got after what was that, Blood Hunt, made his powers unstable and prone to him unleashing his vicious side. So basically, he needs a vibranium suit to keep his powers in check. Yeah, you heard me, audience.
It's more upgrades for Miles.
You heard me, audience. You heard me, audience. This isn't an upgrade. This is a stabilizer. Oh my god! And you have poor old Peter down the corner who can't even who's struggling to pay rent, and can't even get his life together. And here you have Miles who literally has a suit made of vibranium. Wow.
I had people argue with me that like that this is okay because because a lot of this is about Miles's like progression as a character, and that's why he gets like the upgrades he does, and like it's just to go inside with the growth. I was explaining like I don't really have a problem with him growing as a character. I don't have a problem with him having new suits every now and then. I just don't like it's just so much in so little time.
Basically. I know, right?
When you break it down in this same run, he's got like 4 different upgrades.
Yep.
His power, and a lot of them are strong, and he's already Spider-Man. So I just don't know why he needs most of this. And someone was explaining that, saying like he's not physically as strong as Peter. I'm like, based off what?
Are you kidding me? What?
Yeah, when they fight, they're usually around the same.
I don't know what their reasoning is there on that department.
Right. But yeah.
If anything, they'll try to say that like the Venom Blast will give his muscle tension an extra boost later on, So
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, a brief fight happens between Miles and T'Challa, and yeah, um, all goes well. Then it was Black Panther who did beat up Miles. Now keep in mind this was before Miles got his new suit. So, but hey, Miles thought he was big enough to fight against T'Challa. Look at that, audience. But regardless, the end of this story is really Vulture coming in. Again, I haven't really been keeping up with this series, so I don't know what really is going down. All I know is that Vulture's granddaughter, is the new Starling. The girl Miles is dating. So yeah, there might be some little confrontation there, and yeah, the end of that story is Miles going up against the Vulture, dude. Fried chicken. No, I'm sorry. Overdone chicken for the Vulture side.
Well, then I remember he accidentally nearly killed the Vulture earlier in the story.
Yeah, it just seemed like, dude, you're the underdog in this fight, Vulture. Like, you know. Well, it is what it is. But anyway, that's when we get to the next part of the story, right? Now, in case people didn't correlate this, but hey, the writer of Miles Morales Spider-Man is also writing the Deadpool series right now. And what happened in that series? Oh, just Wade Wilson died. Yeah, yeah. And so now his daughter, who had just turned 14, came in and, she wants to be just like her dad, basically. Which I hate because she's supposed to be like the moral center of Deadpool's world,
It doesn't
but now
even
she
make
just,
sense for a character to be want to be like her father.
yeah, I know. Like, I
You
mean,
go
for God's
stuff
sakes,
Deadpool
Ellie,
and her been through before the series. She will have no reason to want to be like Deadpool. He knows how much he goes through, all the suffering he's done, and how much she suffered because of him.
yeah, how much her adopted family suffer because of Deadpool.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
really murdered her. She saw her mom the last time they saw each other.
yeah, yep. I mean, hey, audience, imagine the scenario where the best a father could do for their child is basically put them in a Hitler Youth Academy. Yeah, yeah, it happened. It happened. That's what Deadpool did for Ellie at one point after he killed her stepmother and her favorite uncle, and yeah, pretty much burned her foster family's home to the ground. Yeah, yeah. I'm totally going. I'm totally going to want to take up the mantle of my father after this. You know. So yeah. Anyway, is what it is. Right now, she's just like she's finding some leads on how to find Death Grip. So she finds this one guy. She beats him up. Wants to get information from him. She says, "Yay, I'm in the. Hey, by the way, I have my own business cards too. By the way, it's Deadpool and Daughters LLC." Wow. Okay. Okay. Whatever. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to kill. So, dude, you literally killed somebody in the last issue of Deadpool. You put a grenade in that guy's stomach. Mutants, I demand you answer for for this child that just came out as a mutant. Already wanted to be a mercenary. But anyway, this is where you have the face off between her and Miles. Now, keep in mind, this is before Miles got the vibranium suit. I don't even think he got. Well, yeah, he may have gotten the vampire powers here at this point. But anyway, as soon as they fight, Ellie's like, "Oh my God!" She's going full fangirl. You're Spider-Man. So yeah. Basically, they're kind of reenacting like how Wade Wilson is really big into Spider-Man. Like yeah, to the point where Spider-Man is his heartmate.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. No, it happened, Jake. Like you had like a bunch of these college girls who wanted to summon Deadpool's wife Shikwa, right? Because she was a demon succubus who was the queen of Monsteropolis. So they kidnapped Deadpool, put him in like a ritual triangle or whatever. They perform a spell that will summon Deadpool's heartmate, which they assume was going to be his wife. But who pops up? Spider-Man. And even Spider-Man was like, wait, what is this? Like, dude, we are not that close, dude. What's going on? Like, imagine that spell was performed on you, man. Like, what the hell? Yeah. This is getting real creepy here. We're barely work friends at this point, dude. Like,
I just see you on Saturday. It's not a big deal.
Exactly. But anyway, so yeah, the fight happens. Of course, Ellie's just fangirling that she gets to meet Spider-Man. And the fight commences. I mean, of course, Deadpool's kicking her butt. Sorry, not Deadpool. Miles is kicking her butt because, in his words, like, oh, okay, so you're Deadpool, so I don't really have to hold back since you guys are pretty hard to take down anyway. So yeah. Eventually, they're in the midst of the fight. He notices the Taskmaster symbol on her jacket, and that's when he realizes, oh crap. So that's when Taskmaster comes in, basically paying stepdaddy, like, you hurting my daughter. So yeah, he throws a bomb, kind of takes out Miles for a bit, and that just gives Taskmaster and Ellie enough time to teleport away. Even the guy that Ellie was beating up, she was like saying, "Wait, Spider-Man, did you just lose to that girl?" Yeah, I guess he did. And
what a loser! You fucking fraud.
You got beat by a girl, Miles, a 14-year-old girl who just realized she was
society, but can't beat a 14-year-old.
You can take down a Venom dragon, but you can't take down a 14-year-old girl. But anyway, when Miles leaves, that's when he knows apparently Ellie slipped into his pocket her business card, Deadpool and Daughters LLC. So yeah, audience, this is basically this version, this era's generation of Spidey Pool here. Yeah. Well, they kept the whole Deadpool having a love infection with Spider-Man, I guess.
That's gonna be creepy because Miles should be an adult now.
What happened to Miles?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure there were a lot of girls around Ellie's age that were fangirling over NSYNC back in the day, So
that's fine, but they don't get to work with NSYNC and do it at the same time.
I guess. This was just a brief confrontation.
Here's the one about Kamala being a fangirl. She didn't like those people like that. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, Miles is 18, isn't he?
Don't say he's an adult now. He's an adult since they gave him a daughter.
Okay.
I mean, he gave him a sister.
Okay, true that. Yeah, well, I mean, he's not past the border at that point. He's just
Is he in high school still?
On the border. Wait, what was that, Jake?
Is he in high school?
Yeah, he's in high school.
17, 18.
He did be the last year of high school, but he's 18 because they aged him up when he had his sister.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And back then he was 17, and we know that for sure.
That's true. So, all right, audience. Yeah, I'm surprised that Marvel decided to give this only 3 variant covers, by the way. So, yeah. Okay. That's what it is. Hold on a sec. Let me just make sure I got the next comic ready. All right. Hold. We're on to the next one. Austin, this is all you, man.
Oh my god, bro. We're finally back after, I want to say, 19 years. That's what it feels like. It refused to come out at a regular time for regular people. But Radiant Black number 30 and 30.5 because they have hit numbering, I guess. I would hate to be a casual fan buying this book because you wouldn't know what the fuck was happening.
Dude, I swear, when this whole Catalyst War happened, man, like, I had this in my subscription box in my comic book shop. They only gave me one issue. They weren't aware that this was like, uh, issue 25 and 25.5. So I was like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's confusing.
but let's go ahead and get into it, I guess. First photo.
Mm-hmm. No, you take the lead on this whole one, man. I
No,
already
go,
did it
go to the
all.
first. Go to the first photo.
Oh, the first photo. Okay. Hold on. Okay.
So people don't remember this ugly looking alien thing. I don't think we have a name for him specifically, but he is the man who uses the Radiant Premier, which is the all white Radiant suit that we've been fighting for 19 years
Yep.
at this point.
Yep.
But basically, he finally broke it down for Nathan, who is Radiant Black in this issue, and Marshall. Let him know Nathan lost the challenge, but Marshall had won his. I want people to remind him how ugly this guy was. That's all. Next photo. I hate this design, bro. Like, why? I don't understand why the Premier picked such a sickly looking alien. He's even wearing like a breathing mask. Next thing.
Okay, next pick.
Okay. So because Nathan lost, he's being forced to bend his will to the will of Premier and help destroy the world. And I love the techno glitchy art style for what they do for the robot stuff in here. Like you see compliance. But at the bottom, I believe the words were changed to never were used earlier. It don't matter. But he's being Ready Black being forced to to submit to Premier, both the human and the robot. And next, this is Premier forcing the robot, which is this is one of the few times we got a full photo of the robot. So usually it's always in like the inner realm or just an arm or so. But this imagery of Premier, Radio Black, and his robot all together, I thought was really pretty dope. I really like the art here.
This was looking pretty cool, especially when you have like the shift between two different timelines going on at once here.
Yeah, I'll probably go base my profile picture. I'm my profile, well, my phone background. Next image. So as the robot takes control of Radio Black, they can't overcome the programming of Premier. Radio Black, for the first time in this franchise, does a black hole legitimately.
What's an event without a giant light in the sky, audience?
At least it's not a giant beam like the early 2000, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, even that went on for a long time. A lot of films did the beam in the sky.
It's been parodied to death at that point,
Yeah, I think the last one was Suicide Squad 2016. But next picture. Radio Black's attacking the planet, as you can see here. And we finally get like hints of his max potential. Because they are talking about how this black hole could not even just develop the Earth after I believe a few seconds initially, but he can potentially absorb this solar system. He just keeps going. Radio Black's power might be endless in this franchise. I like that. I really just want to show off a lot of this. A lot of artwork because you don't get to see this a lot, especially Marvel DC how they do their coloring. Next thing.
A lot is going on in these backgrounds, audience. Dude.
It's our first full team up fight ever. Yeah. This is the first time every Radiant has been in a fight together.
Yeah.
Even the Supermassive crossover we never had before. I thought it was really important to show. You have Inferno Girl Red at the top, Rogue Sun, Radiant Pink, Dead Lucky is somewhere on the ground, if I remember correctly. He was in the early issue. Got Radiant Pink here, Radiant Red.
I was a little bit confused here because it looked like you had two shifts going on at once.
Oh,
You see
so
that?
number one shift, and the other one is the old man from inside the truth place existence, whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, I got one that died though.
Yeah, but the one from the other timeline. From my
Oh,
understanding.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was confusing me too at first. So I thought it was just at first I thought it was just shifting and them trying to show it uniquely, but it's like it's hard to tell at first. But one was supposed to be the old man. He shows up later.
Gotcha.
Next photo.
Boom.
Yeah, we got first full image of the giant robot fighting. And I was like, bro, that looks Iron Man. Like it's like Iron Man mixed with the Iron Giant. It even got like the full
Nah. This right here is giving me Pacific Rim vibes, man.
Really? I guess I can see that. The first one I can see that.
Yeah.
With all this with its skinny limbs and stuff, it'll throw me off. I was talking about the design. It's all it's definitely anime. It's really going anime. So, like instead of like a giant robot, he looks like a giant alien wearing armor because how skinny his arms are.
Yep.
Yeah, like a metallic suit. But you see everyone fighting together. We go to the next thing.
It's dope.
This is another episode of giant robot. But we didn't see.
An ant has no quarrel with my boots.
That's basically why I did that too. It reminded me of that. Because I think before this he called some mistake.
Yep.
And he stepped on one of the government official people. And I was like, bro, Premiere summoned his own giant robot for the first time in the series. And that's what this is. Premiere's giant robot. I didn't like how similar it looked with the black set first. But I was like, you know what, we'll get over it. I wish it was more distinct because I think all the rest of them at least like different colors.
Right.
The next thing. I don't remember the sales guy's name. I was trying to find it. They just said this issue. And this isn't like Marvel DC where they tell you the people who are in the issue's name, and then start the book. But they really should do it. It's like 20 people in this book.
Hey, take a note from no one, audience, publishers, man. Leave the last page to show a picture and name for everybody here, like.
But for anyone who doesn't remember, this was a minor villain in the early, I want to say Arc 2. He was the way his and Shift's suits work is that the longer they're close to a radiant, it charges their suit as they absorb radiation and energy from the radiant power. This guy used it to turn into sound. Well, he used it to make weapons for sound. And Marshall basically tracked this dude there in the middle of all this. Said, I need your weapon because I kind of remember you using it to beat my ass in Arc 2.
Yeah.
So that's issues 4 through 8 or 8 through 12. It's one of those. It's not in the first 4. But it's super early in the book. Next. I wanted to show Marshall getting this gun because this is a big reason why he was chosen later.
Right. Got the hero.
I thought this panel was great. Yeah, I thought this boot was great. I was dead lucky he wasn't here. I think we both agree.
Gotcha.
That dead lucky was not here. But seeing Rogue Sun,
there had to be somebody at the bottom, audience. All right, So.
Yeah, but having Rogue Sun here, especially because this is his first. I believe this is his first official full team up.
Yep.
Because I don't think he was in the last two. He wasn't in the last 2 Supermasters. The last one was Caleb.
Yep.
So I wanted to show as many Rogue Sun panels as I could.
Yep. It was Dylan's body, but possessed by a previous Rogue Sun audience. Yeah. Go read it. It was a good book.
This panel also made me want them to have to do Inferno Girl Red Volume 2. Because it's kind of ridiculous. He just kind of shows up. Like, I get she can do that. It's kind of weird. Her for her own dimension just kind of keeps showing up when stuff goes down. Next thing. I'll talk to Chris for the show. I showed this panel because anytime this panel comes on now, I can always think of Moon Knight. Moon Knight ruined this style for me. With people flying on the ground and the kaijus are flying in the background.
Yeah. It is a cool panel.
I always think of it. It is a dope panel.
Yep. Oh, we got a
Oh yeah,
comment. Which Super Nerds won X-Men trivia. Now here to do socials.
Jokes on you.
All
We already
right.
did this before.
so you we did
Yeah.
social, you loser.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And just
Go to bed.
already announced that we did the socials. But good job on your X-Men trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, congrats that you won. Look at these giant robots fighting. X-Men cannot do this.
Yeah. That's your reward.
I do like how this one shows the difference between both robots. Because earlier, I guess I got confused. Earlier, I thought that was both robots. When you see Radiant Black's robot, it's a lot more sleek in design, and the other one's more sharp edges and brutal and green.
Yep.
But with all the circle stuff, it reminds me like if Iron Man's like an alien, if Iron Man's an alien, it reminds like the shit you'll get.
Yeah,
Alien Iron Man stuff would be that. You see all like the circles and stuff that he I think what Iron Man 2021 suit had this, the one by Alex Ross,
Uh-huh.
where he turned into a god, it had all the lights and stuff on the side and stuff. That's what it reminds me of. Also, this city is messed up. Look at this. Look at these buildings.
This is the point where where the writer would say, like, okay, this was all this damage here. That's in the other timeline. So yeah.
Yeah. But the purpose of this is you just see Marshall at the bottom. He's starting to make the plan come together. Next panel. I did a lot of panels because I wanted to show off the artwork. I told Krypton this before the show, but I got to mention here because people don't really do a lot of stuff outside of Marvel DC. I thought it was important to show a lot of dynamic panels and stuff they have here. Full power. So Marshall shot premiere with the sound gun. I forgot that page, but he'll use as a distraction. So Radiant Black basically flew to the edge of the city and flew back on some infinite mass punch stuff to hit premiere in this photo. Like, and this made me make me love this color scheme for Radiant Black. I like the more powerful you get, like his suit becomes more black, it like absorbs the light from his suit. So his whole suit goes black, but it goes full white.
This is Death Battle War moment here, audience. You know, so.
That's right. They would never do it. Death Battle will never do Radiant Black. That show will probably end for Radiant Black gets decent enough that you can call it out. But the reason this page was important, if you look at the bottom here, we found out that Radiant Red can absorb energy from the other Radiant. This is a brand new thing that didn't exist before. Before, she absorbed energy from attacks and energy from like electricity to make herself bulkier, but this time she absorbed power itself. Go to the next one. But not only did she get a power up, apparently Radiant Pink got power from it too. So she had this full pink Scion form in the middle of the page. But Radiant Red has a full mech red suit instead of just bulking herself up how she usually does it. Because that's using energy to make it itself. I thought it was interesting, but kind of like he came out of nowhere. I wish it was kind of explored more before it's like a desperation move.
Yep.
But I just wanted to show their first little team up thing because it never happened before. And they have fucking design robot up. That's the next thing.
They're all taking names, man, you know? All right. Next page.
So basically, after that punch, Radiant Black came in and tackled the robots tackled each other, and this explosion happened. Now, like this reminds me, because people know the guy who write this, Kyle Higgins, and the artist whose name is escaping right now. They both did the Power Rangers series for Boom Studios. I said that this explosion panel is straight out of Power Rangers.
Wow.
Like this type of MP, they do a lot in that part. It's very cool.
They should have like them screaming, "Whoa!"
It's a rainbow. It's rainbow shrapnels here, you know. Like
I really thought there was Radiant Black symbol in the middle too. I was like, this is very, very cool. This is very cool. This explosion. This is one of my favorite panels of this franchise so far. Which is funny. I think most of my favorite panels come from Rogue Sun compared to Radiant Black. Radiant Black got good imagery, but it's always usually like mid-fight stuff. They don't do like the full page. getting often.
Yeah.
Next, but basically that they beat Premiere, which is very surprising. And if I remember correctly, the government and Shift took Premiere's power. So Radiant Premiere, which is the white form we saw earlier, was then taken by someone else. We cut back to the bad timeline. I guess the good timeline, technically. The timeline where Marshall won. And if people don't remember, he absorbed all the Radiant. So Radiant Red, Pink, Yellow, and Premiere. And now he's sacrificing himself to stabilize the timeline and make sure there's only one timeline. Because as Wendell has been saying since before this season, this fight started, when he went to Wendell, he kept telling them only one can be Radiant Black.
Yeah.
He didn't just mean between Nathan and Marshall. Because he repeats it in this issue. I forgot to post that page. But only one person ever at a time can be Radiant Black in all the timeline, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So this Marshall has to sacrifice himself to stabilize their timeline and to make sure they live. So even though he became a murderous guy like 5 minutes ago, he still died a hero because it is hard. He kept his values to a degree.
Yep.
Next week.
He
I was
died
surprised
a
they did
hero.
like that.
He died a hero, so he wouldn't have to live long to be a villain. You know. So
I was surprised they did that because I thought he was gonna be like the boogeyman for this franchise.
that would
I
be
thought he
cool,
was gonna
man.
pop
That
up
would
every
be
now and
cool.
then as the villain. Next thing.
Gotcha.
This page is the same. I went back for a bit while we were talking. This page is the same exact page from 7 issues ago.
Mm-hmm.
The same like way they're talking, the same level of dialogue. But instead of what they did there, it's them deciding that Marshall should be Radiant Black. In the original page, this is when they decided. This is when Marshall grabbed. This is when Nathan grabbed it.
Yeah.
It's the same exact imagery of the hole in the ground because the fight they had. They had to choose who should be Radiant Black. Marshall said it should be you, but in this time, Nathan turns every dialogue that Marshall said in that on his head, where he tells him, "You told me you don't think people can change, and that's what I told it should be me. But really, I do think people can change. I've been watching you change. Even though that other Marshall failed to change, and that's why he won and lost at the same time. This whole time throughout this fight, the moment you found you weren't ready, like you immediately changed and helped save the day. You have made changes throughout this whole time we've been watching you play.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever the man you were before this, you're not that man now. I think you should get the power."
Oh,
And he said, "I never wanted this." It was surprising because he did want this. I don't know why he lied with it. I never wanted this. He was like, "Bro, the power or the?" Go ahead.
to make his run feel better, man. You know.
I get what he means, like beforehand, like, "Oh, before I got this power, I never thought about being a hero." But it's like once you got it, you want it, bro. Come on now, I know you. We read this, but he basically takes a step back. Says, "Marshall, you basically the quarterback from the ground. If you had the Radiant Black power at this time, I feel like we would have won this fight a little bit easier. But you're clearly the leader. You got the smarts. You can make the plans. You can do everything. You are Radiant Black." So people don't know. I always bring this up, so you should know at least. There was a vote to be who's Radiant Black at the end of the day. So it was between these two people, Nathan and Marshall. I voted for Marshall. So when they did the double timeline thing, and Marshall turned out to be the shit hero, I was so mad. I was
Look at
mad
you.
at that. I'm like, bro, that's terrible.
But look at you. Your choice ended up working out for the long run, man.
It was an
I am very surprised I won. I do hope they. I hope when they do like the big book, like the full volume sale, I need them to put the what if Nathan won timeline in there. I would like to see the final thing if Nathan became Radiant Black again.
Yep.
But me and Crit have been talking about this off screen. We don't believe Nathan's going to be gone for good because after this, I don't have this page downloaded because I didn't think it was worth it. But Nathan is going to leave and go back to, I believe, Los Angeles, where that girl was, to be a writer again.
Oh.
So that's why he said, you can stay here, you can be Radiant Black. This is basically your death. But if people don't know Power Rangers, there's always a sixth ranger or someone getting powers. And if you know Power Rangers, you're probably going to get a power at some point.
Yeah.
We believe Nathan's going to get Premier's power or another power and end up being another member of the Radiant's team. Because technically this team still needs a green, but it might be Shift. But we don't know yet. Go ahead, dude.
I was just about to bring that up. Shift kind of felt like he was supposed to be the sixth Power Ranger, but he's always getting punked. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
I thought his first appearance, he always gets punked up.
Yeah, like every time he meets another Radiant, yeah, they're whooping his butt, man. Like, wow.
Even earlier, when Marshall was coming up with a plan to save the day, he ran into Shift. I didn't think it was that important because Shift was trying to rob Premier's Shift, and he was going to leave.
I mean, I just found that extremely funny when this Catalyst War happened, right? Our Shift, the one we've been following, he gets killed. And what happens? Yeah, he gets killed, audience. He's the only member of this team that gets killed. And the other Radiants are like, oh, wait, let's just go to the bad timeline. And I'm pretty sure that Shift is still in jail. So, yeah, let's just find him and give him the suit. And there, yeah.
So the average man's in a whole new timeline. He technically could be a whole new person if you wanted, but he's Shift. He's not. That man's a thief.
That's why I find it so funny, man. So Marshall comes back. He needs to be the proper sixth Radiant, So
Nathan. When Nathan comes back.
Sorry, Nathan. I got that confused.
Yeah, but Marshall is Radiant Black, and as you see in this panel, he's flying off heroically as a giant robot lays dead in the street, and the other one's on the floor lying down. And I'm like, this is an invincible type shit. It's a victory, but it's not real victory. But they act like it's super heroic, bro. Like, I expect the issues to be all about like the backlash.
Yeah.
Aliens attack for a time. Our quote unquote heroes try to fight, but they do just as much damage to the aliens. They leave dead giant robot bodies all over the place. But I am interested to see what they do with these robots' bodies. Since they're dead, I don't think they can be absorbed again. So I imagine they're going to break them down and use them for other stuff. I think it could be.
Just have this be their gateway to like the government like combining these robot pieces and making their version of a Megazord.
There you go. So you might get Transformers. There might be Transformers in here. But I know this has been a long talk, and it's been a long time since we did these issues. But people, the release schedule for Radiant Black was terrible. So the moment this came out with both parts, we had to get this out of the way.
Exactly. I mean, you guys want an example? Yeah, you guys want examples of how terrible the scheduling is? This is the last issue of Radiant Black we're going to get for the year.
And this event is going on for what, 3 years now?
Pretty much, man. Like, damn. They certainly are taking their sweet ass time. What is it, Kyle Hagen? Are you too concerned with your No One movie at the moment or something like that?
I get it, but it's like, man, this is your main thing here. The next time we return to the Supermassive verse will be Rogue Sun. Rogue Sun's the most consistent book in the franchise so far. And after that, it might be Cowl. Cowl's not going to finish by the time Radiant Black comes back. So it's going to be Radiant Sun as our next big thing, I believe. So hopefully.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say, hopefully Dylan learns something from here. And now he knows there's more heroes. He doesn't have to rely on the spirits as much as he used to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It could be interesting to see if he ends up having to reach out for more help or something like that. And how his dad takes it.
Yeah, man. I mean, okay, we just kept ourselves in New Orleans, the supernatural stuff. Now we're dealing with basically Gundams out here. Oh, damn! I'm glad I skipped this generation. So.
But that's pretty much it, man. I'll give the Catalyst War. If I had to sit down and read it all in one go, I would give it like a 7 or 8. But how reading it every 5 months? This was a terrible event.
Oh yeah, definitely. But
Because
hey,
there's no way you'll remember exactly everything that happened issue to issue because how poor this
I
comes out.
I know, right? But it happened, and yeah, right now, funny enough, Rogue Sun is literally the only one, the last man standing, who has a consistent book coming out on schedule. You know, who would
That's
have
why he's the
thought?
only one that consistent fan base right now.
Yeah,
Rated Black has fans, but Ron Sun's the one who's actually giving his fans what they want.
yay, well
So,
deserved, well
you know,
deserved.
good on you, Dylan.
The Flash Thompson of this universe became its most consistent hero. But all right then. You guys, you have any final thoughts, Austin, before we move on?
Uh, I recommend this universe, but probably wait a few years. I guess let some of these books
it,
pile up for you.
it's
Go back and list.
it's good trade read audience. So
Yeah,
all right.
why we call it the Supermassive Trade Universe.
Mm-hmm. So with that,
That's it.
all right, guys, let's move on to the next topic. Jake, Jakefer.
Shadow is back after years of being treated like an edgelord. He's back and he's better than ever. He has a story, and Ian Flynn, former main Sonic writer for IDW, was gonna tell it. And Shadow Generations. This is a part of the Sonic X Shadow Generations remaster, but I already played Sonic Generations years ago. We know the story. There's some changes, but not to the plot, just the dialogue. So forget
Yeah.
Sonic. We're just focusing on Shadow right now, the new story. This plot takes place. It starts slightly before the events of Sonic Generations. Shadow is investigating a mysterious signal on the Ark when time is distorted thanks to Eggman's efforts in the main story. Now he and his former arch nemesis, Black Doom, who has now returned from the dead, are locked in a final battle to determine Shadow's fate. All the while, some familiar faces from Shadow's past appear again. Gameplay wise, this game is like fucking great. I'm so glad that we have a game like this because Sonic has had a lot of passable games for the past 10 years, if that. And so this game actually it looks great, it feels great, it plays great, the levels are great. So many good things to say about it. So like in Sonic Generations proper, there's the 3D levels and unfortunately 2D levels as well. But the 3D levels are really the highlight of this game. It takes a lot of the SA2 approach to level design, where these are just long tunnels with different branches, and that all come together near the end. But these branches are so long, if you wind up taking a different path, sometimes the level just feels completely different than the last time you played it. Like you will have a completely different experience if you take one path over another in certain levels. The speed feels great, but the difficulty curve has also been increased as well, which is a good thing because Sonic games have gotten a little bit easy to appeal to more casual audience. But I do like the skill curve here. For a long time veteran of Sonic games such as myself, there were a lot of levels that were actually like pretty challenging, but in like a fun way, I know this is my fault, I should probably like fix it kind of way. There's also now, returning from Sonic Frontiers, there is an open zone area, basically expanding on the hub world from Sonic Generations as well. Instead of the 2D hub world from Sonic Generations, now we have a 3D hub world for Shadow. Here you can collect a lot of collectibles that lead to fun things like cover art or more music tracks or all this other stuff. And there's a side mission I'm currently doing, the last one I have to do, where you can help two characters build a rocket ship. I'm so close to finishing it, but it's so tedious to find those last 10 pieces, but whatever. Yeah, you just have a blast. You can even decide like in Sonic Generations, you can decide the soundtrack that you play to in levels. Each level comes with its own music track, but you can change the background music in the level to be from music from another game if you so wish. I think the cons in terms of the gameplay is, for some reason, I guess to really pad out the runtime, you have to do every side mission in the game to beat the game. And I was like, what? So, in Sonic Generations, to get to the boss fight at the end of the section, you had to beat like maybe 3 side missions. And you could choose any 3 out of like maybe like 15 in each section. And this was like fun. You got to choose which ones you want to do. They're all creative and well thought out. In Shadow Generations, though, every section of the game has only like 4 side missions, and you have to do all 4 before you progress, which really halts the pacing. And some of these quests are like, they're okay. Like, none of them are terrible, but they're just, some of them are just like, I would rather just not have to do this. So I kind of didn't like that. Again, this is clearly just to pad out the runtime, but it is what it is. I'm sure when they make an even bigger game, this probably won't be the case anymore. Another thing, these are nitpicks. When you retry a level, the music keeps going. So when you like die in a level, usually in previous Sonic games, the soundtrack would restart with you. And like I never thought about it, but in this game, the soundtrack keeps going even after you die. So even if you retry the level from the beginning, like you press restart, the soundtrack keeps going. And I think that makes the levels feel a little bit longer to me. It's a psychological thing, but it makes the levels feel longer than they actually are. I kind of hope they don't do that again. I get why they did it, but don't do it again. And this game also, Shadow has some new powers. Now he's being enhanced by his arch nemesis Black Doom, so he can be a stronger fighter.
They all suck. They all suck. Don't matter how. They all suck.
Wow.
Gameplay wise, all but one of them is good. Especially the last one, the which is the wings, which are all in all the marketing. The wings are great. The Devil Wing, the Doom Wings are great because they allow you to fly in levels. So once you unlock them, you can go through any level with or without the wings. And this is so great because it allows you to get through areas of the level faster or take shortcuts you didn't notice before. And they're one of my favorite powers in the game. In addition, you also have the Doom Spears, which is just Shadow's Chaos Spear, but he could throw more of them at a time, which I felt like Shadow should be able to do anyway, but whatever. That was kind of a power-up where it's like, okay, I don't know why these are tied to Black Doom, but sure, whatever. There's another one where Shadow kicks an enemy up in the air and can use that enemy as a way to teleport by kicking them ahead and then Chaos snapping towards them. Again, this is something that Shadow should already be able to do. I don't know why this is considered a power-up, but yeah, whatever.
Hey, power-ups are all the rage nowadays, man. Especially with black-themed characters, you know?
Yeah. We also have the surfing power-up, which is fun to use and very simple. But it ties into a criticism I'll have of these power-ups a little bit. The last one that I really hate, and I've gotten better at using it now that I've beaten the game, but there's a squid power. Now, this power works in particular, like, there are these little orbs on the map when it's available, and you have to tap the square button, but if you use default controls, to trigger the power. But it's context sensitive. I don't know how to explain. It's very finicky. You're supposed to be able to use it to swing from object to object, but it's like Spiderman almost, but it's so finicky. I don't like using it. And it's also attached to the worst level in the game, which is ironically level from Sonic Frontiers, a game that I think is mid, but whatever. But I didn't really like this power up. I get what they were going for, and now that I know how to use it better, it's not completely terrible, but I don't like it. I just don't like it. The only criticism of the power-ups is outside of the kick and the spear and the wings. The other two you can't really use outside of specific levels, so they kind of feel like. I wish there was more like chances to use them in prior levels. I get surfing wouldn't be a good power to use in a level that takes place in fucking space, but I don't know. Maybe find a way to incorporate that better.
I wonder why they did that because him and Sonic can run on water. Why give him power to go on water?
Right. I didn't even think of two brought it up, but yeah, that is true. Sonic can run on water, so can Shadow. In terms of the, I think, but in terms of the gameplay, this is not just a step in the right direction. This is the direction. Sonic has had a history of being games like, oh, this is okay, but we'll improve it next time. But no, this is the improvement. This is the upgrade. And everything I'm saying it might be problems, but it's still something that, like, it feels like a game that I can root for. That I don't have to look at. I don't have to compare to. I don't have to look at it and be like, this looks like an amateur hour project. This is a finished game. It's a good game, and I would recommend someone playing this if they want to understand Shadow and Sonic's characters. In terms of the story, written by Ian Flynn, this is his second attempt at writing a story for the games, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I had some time to think about it. I think there's actually a real improvement on his writing. I think there's some things that I think he needs to work on. Like, I don't know what the translation between script and game is, but I wish he would take the time to go more in depth with stuff. This is like the second game in a row where I'm like, damn, we have interesting interactions that we will never have again, and we're not really getting them because we're so focused on like other things. So
Oh yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Jake, you weren't here earlier. This has to do with your Sonic thing. But I was telling him I was comparing Maria from this game to Uncle Ben, where they originally only existed to be killed in the backstory to motivate their hero. But unlike Maria in this game, at least Uncle Ben in the Ultimate Universe got a lot more, personality development, and that was something you mentioned that he was lacking in this timeline. Well, this
Yeah,
game.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So in this game, we go more in depth to Maria and the goat Jared Robotnik. But we don't get much. I never had a problem with Maria. As also was bringing up, Maria is the reason for Shadow to have motivation. That's what she always was. Okay, I'm not. The reason fans are excited at the idea of her getting shot in the games has less to do about in the movie, less to do about Maria, and more about the implications of that scene. So I'll really the fact that no one really cares about Maria, more so about her effect on Shadow and Gerald and everybody else. But because we have a game that actually delves more into the past of Shadow and his relationship with Maria, it is disappointing to see that Maria is still just, I'm the anime nice girl. Oh, Shadow, you're so sweet and so kind. I know you have so much good in you, Shadow. And I'm like, okay, whatever, sure, okay. We do get some lines of dialogue in the hub worlds that imply that there's a little bit more to them. I wish there was more of this. It's only like one or two lines. But I didn't really feel anything for Maria. I felt more so bad for Shadow in this situation. In terms of Shadow as a character, though, Shadow is nuanced again. I actually really appreciate how Ian Flynn through this journey has been making Shadow feel more human and grounded, which was kind of the appeal he had in SA2. I said this before. The thing that makes Shadow cool in his first introduction is all the other Sonic casts are these like whimsical characters. Even Knuckles, while he is grounded in a way, he's still kind of like out there in nature. But Shadow is way more of like a is the first like down to earth Sonic character really. And it's true to form here. Shadow is dealing with kind of in prior games he's already let go of his trauma of Maria and Gerald. But I like how Ian brings up the idea that just because Shadow has let his past go doesn't mean it doesn't hurt him still. Like when he has to think about it time to time, which is realistic. Just because you get over something doesn't mean it doesn't punch you in the gut sometimes. And I like how I like how the idea for him the whole game is like, well, now the time is destroyed. What if I could fix it? What if I didn't have the chance before, so it didn't matter. But now that I have that option, what if I could fix what happened at the Ark? It was really interesting stuff. And I also like the dichotomy between. I was thinking about this, but the dichotomy between Shadow's friends now, Rouge and Omega, and his past friends Gerald and Maria. I actually thought about it. It's really cool how much this game shows how Team Dark is necessary to Shadow as a person, as someone who's healing. There's a line in the game about how Gerald wants Shadow to think about things beyond just Maria's mission of protecting the Earth. And that coincides to Rouge, who like the whole game just wants Shadow to be like, listen, I get that you're on your mission and everything, but like, how about you stop and just go to a birthday party with Sonic every once in a while? Not because like you like him, but like just because I want you to just live your life. I was like, that's nice, you know? I like that. And I also like for Omega.
But Jake, Team Dark doesn't exist. Sega told me that themselves.
All right. Well, they clearly changed their minds because we even have some dialogues where that show how much Shadow means to Rouge as a person, which I thought was really sweet. And even Omega, how much like Shadow and Omega's dynamic, where Rouge tries to appeal to Shadow's emotional side. Omega's like, we just bond over the mission. We just like destroying shit, basically. And how through their love of just like fighting, that's how they really bond, to the point where even Omega sees Shadow as like one of his closest friends. And I like that the whole dynamic between Team Dark is reestablished in this game. It's really nice. It's nice to know that like that they can have this dynamic again. And that it can be even deeper than it was before in like Archie comics and stuff like that. But I think the negatives, another negative I think is Black Doom himself, who's somehow worse than he was in the original Shadow the Hedgehog game. I thought Shadow in the first Shadow game, Shadow the Hedgehog, Black Doom was good for the role of being a villain. He had an imposing army. He had a mysterious presence. He was fine. It worked for that game. But in this game, because Shadow's a lot stronger, and he also can't have the Chaos Emeralds because Sonic needs them for his story, because it's already canonically happened. It makes Black Doom just kind of seem kind of like, he doesn't feel as intimidating as he used to, even in the final battle. Shadow, I mean, again, Sonic has the Chaos Emeralds, so Shadow can't use the super form, so he's fighting Black Doom without a super form. So it's not really as impressive. It's like, oh, I beat you with my base form, basically. So you know, I don't really find them all that intimidating. I find things about their dynamic interesting, but their dialogue is not real. Their banter isn't as entertaining as say Sonic and Eggman's. So I don't know. It's just. I kind of wish there was more.
Right.
I think another thing too, we get bosses for Shadow that they try to tie into things that like he's fought in the past, even if Sonic's fought him too. We have some surprise returns from one of my favorite returning villains, Mephiles, who has a little snippet about how about his motivations, which is kind of really sad when you think about it, because Mephiles is the only Sonic villain that was beaten to the point where he was cut out of the entire timeline. So all he wants to do is just exist again. And Shadow's like, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to kill you again. So, I thought that like dialogue, like that, those dynamics were more interesting to me than say, than Black Doom or Shadow. I think the final thing I want to touch on too, Ian Flynn is so good at this. He's 2 for 2 on this. The journal entries, he did this in Frontiers for Eggman, and he did one for Gerald. The journal entries in this game for Gerald Robotnik, and I think you only get this for a pre-order, are fucking phenomenal.
Wow.
The story for Gerald was, as a kid, was always kind of like, whatever. Like, I didn't really care. Like, it was just cool story. It was cool lore. But I didn't really care about Gerald Robotnik. And then, when I read the journal that came in this game, and they showed you the story of like Gerald, who he was, how he came to care for Maria, how that and what his goal for making Shadow was, and it becomes this like descent into madness story with him. Basically.
Wow!
And by the end, I was like, bruh, like this dude is a villain. Like he's a justified villain at this point. Just a small snippet. I was explaining this to Austin, like he wanted to make a cure for Maria because Maria was sick. And so he took her to the Ark so, you know, she could study and all this other shit. But he needed funding. But the problem was Gunn, the military agency, wanted him to make weapons that would just, you know, help them with their military affairs. And Gerald's like, I don't want to make weapons for people. I just want to make shit that helps people. So he thought that if he went to the president who he was friends with, that the president would tell Gunn to get off his back and he'll be fine. And he calls the president, and the president, he's like, "Hey, Mr. President, we're all cool and everything. I know you believe in my mission. Hey, can you get Gunn off my back so I can do my research?" He's like, "Yeah, I can do that for you if you make me immortal." And he's like, "What?" What is that? He's like, yeah. I want you to crack the secrets of life and make me an immortal man, an immortal god. And he's like, what? it's like stuff like this. It's like things like this throughout his whole life, where it's just like he keeps trying to be one step ahead of everybody, but the situation spirals more and more out of control to the point where you could just see him going insane. And by the end of it, it all leads back to his famous quote in Adventure 2. His famous quote about revenge and what Shadow meant what he wanted Shadow to do when Maria died, and it was so beautifully written. I was like, "Holy shit, Ian Flynn cooked here." But yeah, like I said, Shadow Generations is a good game. I think it's a bit too short. I wasn't really much.
Did you talk about Methless?
Yeah, I talked about Methless. I talked about it earlier. It's a bit short of a game, but you have Sonic Generations right next to it, so you have basically two games for the price of like what, $60. I recommend it. Sonic Team, you did a good job this time. There's some things that I feel like there's still some of those classic Sonic Team isms where I feel like this shouldn't be in like a normal game, but there's so much good it overweighs the bad. So props to Sonic Team, you did good. This needs to be the bare minimum for Sonic going this day forward. If your quality is any less than this, it's a bad game to me. Flat out. I'm just saying. Okay. Well, that's all I gotta say. So, there you go.
Gotcha. Well, that was a nice little discussion on that. So I guess we're ready to move on to the next topic. Hold on a sec. Wait. Austin, you want to do the lead on this one? Is Austin with us?
I guess so. Give me a second to pull it up. I kept having to walk out the room for a minute. Let's see. Gotcha. Ultimate Spider-Man. Godly, man. People don't know. You see this cover. This is an homage to the original cover of Green Goblin dragging Spider-Man around. And now he's dragging. Wait, this issue, like this cover has been redone like 7 times.
Oh yeah, I can see why.
You got Green Goblin dragging Peter around, Peter dragging him around, Black Suit Peter dragging him around, they're dragging Black Suit Peter around, they're dragging Miles, Gwen, whoever else around, and then the final version of him dragging J. Jonah James around. It really should have been Uncle Ben. That would have been tonight. I feel like he'll be more impactful. He'll drag him up along.
Gotcha.
But I have the issue now, so we can go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
So,
for me too, so yeah.
We open up in October. I believe this means there are 2 months till the maker comes out of his time chamber.
Yeah.
But Uncle Ben, who looks suave. Look how clean Uncle Ben looks in this. This man he's wearing this print coat on, man. They do Star Ducks.
Yep. I always see Uncle Ben as, a bit on the husky side, man. But hey, him and Jameson getting to work on the paper, man, dude, slimmed down for it.
He brought them Star Ducks. This is the first product placement we got in this series so far.
With how much his comic is making in sales wise, I assume Marvel's looking at it's okay, let's put some shady product placement at this point, let's make some extra dime.
Yeah. Let's be fair, look at Uncle Ben's car, bro. Look at Uncle Ben is balling. This man got money. But he hands them their coffee to get in the car. They've been investigating Green Goblin versus the Kingpin and the whole war in the streets that's been going on between that. And following these leads is led them to one of the people they didn't want to go to. if I remember, this is their version of Wesley. The universe is
Yep,
Wesley.
that's
Wesley
Wesley.
is Kingpin's assistant. Most people know him from the TV show because that was like his. I think his best stuff came from the TV show.
Yeah.
To be honest, he was great in that Daryl season one. That man was great. But they basically pressured Wesley for information and to confirm something. Wesley, did you sign this paper right here? Did Kingpin sign this? This is your name, right? And it's a document, if I remember correctly. I can't zoom in. It's
Oh,
a document against Oscorp, which brought them back to trying to figure out what's going on there. But basically, Wesley does what Wesley does best. He gives short answers. He don't really want to firm deny anything. He's very warrior-like,
of
and he calls
course.
security over. And for some reason, I thought he's security. I was like, bro, this will be Bebop. I'm Bebop because Rock said. Like, you got one
Oh
ginger with the beard, the other one kind of rusted. I feel like it could have worked. That was my,
man.
but they get kicked out. They go home, and we see they did the classic movie thing where it's like, oh, okay, so we're trying to figure out a mystery, get some strings, get some tacks, we're gonna connect them on a board.
Hey, they're old school that way, Austin. Come on.
Well, to be fair, yeah, J. Jones actually did say he wanted to do it old school, so that's fair. I
Yeah.
just thought it was funny. I'd never seen someone do it in role. As long as it's a movie thing. But they got some decent names up here. Stain Stark, Tony's company in this universe. TSSR, which we, if I remember, we heard about. Bryos, which is one of the Russian things. One of these was important. I can't remember which one it is for now. We'll talk about it later.
Gotcha.
Oscorp. We come
Oh, okay,
here
okay.
at the most current gen assistant we ever seen in our life. This Gwen Stacy's assistant has dark purple hair with yellow tinted glasses.
Wow.
It's a female, by the way. And she has a dark purple
Keep
fade.
hip.
And I was like, this is the most modern day comic I've seen in a minute. It's
That's
not bad or
Gwen
anything. It's a
one.
good design. It's just funny.
Hey, that's Gwen one to bring in a hip style to the office.
Yeah, you expect Gwen Stacy to be more modern.
Mhm.
But you see her, she got her pants on. Well, she got her dress pants and, well, a dress skirt on
Yeah.
and her top. It's their business like. But basically, they cut to the chase. We figured out some stuff. Oscorp kind of doing, might be doing some shady stuff.
Hmm.
And Uncle Ben pulled out his recorder. He's like, okay, so we think you are going around basically murdering people as the Green Goblin. Well, we think someone at Oscorp is, or at least they're paying him. Because everything looking in his business and who he's attacking comes back to Oscorp. And he basically looks at him and they say, you care to comment? He says, sure. I want my fucking money back. People don't remember, he helped pay for the building they're renting and helped start up their paper business.
And now they're looking to topple her, the business she works at.
Yeah, that is their first. This is their second paper, I believe. It's
Yeah.
one of their first three. So the first one I think was about Spider-Man.
Mhm.
But we had this little moment between Mary Jane and Uncle Ben, and I thought it was very sweet because we've never seen it before.
Yeah.
So if people don't remember in regular comics, Uncle Ben dies before MJ gets introduced in the story.
Hmm.
So like, you never met this man before. I just realized that
You see,
you never met Uncle Ben before in her life.
you see, I never even thought of that when I was reading it. I was just looking at those two just washing dishes, you know?
But yeah, it's a real sweet moment because it was kind of like how she talked to Peter. She's like,
Uh-huh.
"Well, what's going on? How are you feeling?" He's like, and she clearly hiding something, so she just straight up comes out and said. But Mary Jane has always been way more straightforward than like Gwen Stacy when it comes like talking to Peter. And she's like, "Bro, I know you almost got everything messed up. Gwen called me." And he's like, "Oh, she did." He got this really dark face, like he's like, "Fuck Gwen up." I thought it was funny. You see the title, like their first water dishes in the final page of he got like half his face is shaded.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
He's
like, Uncle
silk-hooted.
Ben, that's a villain right there. That's a villain right there for everything.
He's a silk-hooted. Yeah.
In the background, Peter's playing chess with his son and his daughter's there, and he still loses to his son. Now I don't know if it's implied that his son is smarter than him or that Peter helped back. But if they do like the Fantasy 4 route where one of the kids gets powers and the other one's just smart, I don't know how I feel about it. I might like it, but I don't know how I feel. I just got it.
I mean, I just took it as Peter going easy on them. I mean, come on, which parent wouldn't want to go easy on their little child, you know?
I agree, but I thought people were talking about it, so I wanted to make sure I brought it up at least.
Oh, okay.
But
So go.
you have this little moment of her, basically Mary Jane reassuring Uncle Ben, and I kind of feel like he makes this weird face, and I kind of feel he was thinking about Aunt May. Some people don't remember Aunt May's been dead. At the beginning of the series, she died when the Maker basically blew up the city.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of felt the first time since then that he got any encouragement from like any female. I think kind of reminds him of his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter gets on his shoulders like, "No, listen to my wife. You know, she knows better." This is like just a little family moment between all of them. But now we get to the climax of this book. This issue. This is the funniest shit of all time. Jake, are you still here?
Yeah. What's up?
Okay.
I wanted you to be here because I want you to hear what I'm about to say. Harry pulls up on these two old men. He says, "My wife called me. I can't allow you to put that paper out. That Oscorp might be evil. Might be doing the shady stuff." And they're like, "Well, not only do we know you're doing shady stuff, we believe you and your wife is the Green Goblin. And we're going to put it in the paper." And then Harry puts up his arm to show the Green Goblin text like a threat. He's like, "I don't think you heard me. I can't let you do that. Also, I'm the Green Goblin, so leave my wife out of it." Hey, Jake, the whole time you see this panel, you're thinking, if Harry's about to do the heel turn. Because Uncle Ben and J.O. James are two people not going to back down in the face of what they think is true.
No, definitely not.
J.O. James is famous for almost dying because he don't want to change his orders.
Yeah.
So everyone I talked to when I was looking at this issue thought Harry was going to kill Uncle Ben. And I was going to do like the thing that kicks off his villain round. And I was here for it. I'm not going to lie. I was here for it, Jake. Because he charged up his arm and everything. And then they're like, "Bro, we're not here to expose you. We just want to expose the Kingpin stuff." And so Harry calms down. And he basically, if I remember, gives them the information that he has on Kingpin.
Yeah.
Basically to clear Oscorp's name and like steer them away from messing with his stuff.
But we're about to expose you for attempted murder. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Austin, you glossed over the part right where.
No, I'm going to bring them both up.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you go ahead. You already started.
Oh, okay. So, in the beginning of this, right, like when Harry comes into the building, he comes in, and you immediately knew, like, Ben and Jameson knew what was going to happen. And then next thing you know, Ben gives Jameson, like, what, $20? Because they bet on who was going to come in, Gwen or Harry.
And that leads to a second bet as well. They already knew one of them was a Green Goblin, and they bet on who it was. And then you can see random. You have to get that same 20 back to Uncle Ben. And he's like, "Oh, I bet it was your wife." Like, I'm not sexist. I thought it was your wife. Because people don't know, that's their first real conversation with Gwen in a minute. Mm-hmm. So that was James like first exposing to her. He never met her. So I was like, if you know anything about this Gwen Stacy, how ruthless she is and vicious she is, I can definitely see her being a Green Goblin.
Yeah.
That's how Norman was.
Yeah. If I was like Jameson, I would have been saying, like, what, you assumed I thought it was going to be a man in that suit? Oh, come on. I'm not that type of guy.
You think you're got this Hitler mustache? I'm a bad guy? No, I have all the best knowledge.
Yeah.
But they basically put this, he handed them a USB drive. They put it in the computer, and they found all this stuff about Kingpin, so they're exposing Wilson Fisk, which obviously you already know is going to be the worst thing possible. If they already can't beat Wilson Fisk by himself, and we already know the next issue is going to be Black Cat, daughter,
Hmm.
and then after that it's Craven, and
Yeah.
everyone's coming after them.
Yep. I mean,
They made themselves the biggest target in history.
I know. Like Harry is literally saying, "There is a reason I'm wearing a mask." All right, I wouldn't want to put my name anywhere near the story.
But
So
that's why they
yeah.
don't do their name. They use Ben Riley's name, which is like a fun nod, but you got to be like, it's kind of like the X-Men '97. But we had this conversation where it's like, why do you randomly say Goblin Queen? Like, there's
Oh,
no reason
okay.
you randomly chose that name. So it's
Uh,
like that here, like,
and,
I get you how to your alias, and Uncle like Ben's name is Ben, but you wouldn't. That's why you
uh,
wouldn't use Ben Riley. You wouldn't have like any part of your real name in this. They should use Kane
yeah.
instead, in my opinion.
The maiden name I would have gotten, that wasn't that
Yeah.
Aunt May's maiden name before she married Ben Riley.
Oh yeah, there was. Dude, this is terrible. This is
Yeah.
terrible. They should use Kane. They should use Kane if they're going to use another Spider-Man lead name.
Yeah.
But it's a good little issue. All these issues are very good. They're just not. I think the best
I
of
would
this
say,
squad is running it all
hey,
story driven. If that makes sense.
yeah. Hey, I would say this is just more consistent, if anything. I mean, I
Yeah.
enjoyed this issue, like giving like Ben and Jameson the spotlight. I mean, to add on to Austin's point, like Ben here, yeah, he was very suave. He was very proficient. He knew how to hunt for a story, and I like that they're giving him such a spotlight to the point where I'm not looking at him as Uncle Ben. I'm looking at him as Ben, like he and Jameson are like on the same level, the same wavelength. They both bring in results. So that was really cool. And
I
yeah, go
I
ahead.
see so many people. Because I have this physical, but I had to find. I can't go get a copy right now, so I had to
Okay.
get this online. But when I went to buy the physical version, there were some people who read the in shop and they're like, I didn't realize till like 20 minutes after I read this issue that there was no fighting at all in this.
No, not every
People were
issue needs
so
fighting.
no. It was a good thing. People were so absorbed in like the friendship and everything going on between J.O. Jameson and Ben. They didn't even realize the issue didn't have fighting until way after it
Mm.
was over.
Ah, okay,
That's how
okay.
entertained they was
Yeah.
with
Mm-hmm.
everything going on. And I was like,
Yeah.
that's very good. 'Cause that's kind of what
Mm-hmm.
you really want for Spider-Man. Because not every
Yeah.
day he can be favorable. Sometimes he just got to be. You know, you got to serve the neighborhood. So friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was, I wish this book wasn't monthly, bro. I would love to the next week be like, it's also Spider-Man again. Like, I feel like being monthly hurts this book in a degree,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
but if it didn't have to take a month to keep this quality up, I guess it's fine.
Right.
I think
I
next time we
for
return to the Ultimate Time, I'll be Black Panther.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I'm okay with this being monthly, to be honest. Hey, quality over quantity.
Yeah,
I haven't read a bad issue of this so far of this run, so yeah, hopefully it keeps up the
I was that
consistency.
we can agree on.
Yep. Well, let's see what happens with the Black Cat debut. You know,
Get ready for the blackest black cat. And that's not even a
in
joke.
in the
This is gonna
universe.
be interesting. This is gonna be very interesting. Especially because her dad kind of got low death. So is he gonna be
No,
better than
no.
her dad, or is it gonna be, or is it gonna be like the reverse situation? Because I don't know if you
I
remember.
will.
Usually, it's like,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was
You
about to
could,
say no. I felt like the battle between the original Black Cat going up against Green Goblin, Spider-Man. It was as realistic as possible. I mean, yeah, this guy's just coming
yeah,
in with a whip. What else do you think was going to happen? I'm repulsing blasting you out the roof. Oh, you're not going to be making a Batman getaway. You're just going to land on the ground. Yeah, that was
Chris, I
it.
fully agree. I
Yeah,
kind of hope that she's not an adult. I want it to be the reverse Ultimate Spider-Man, where
yeah.
he starts flexing him and he goes up on her. I
Oh
kind of
my
want the
god.
full reverse of that scene. where she's underage this time, messing with him, and he's like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" I'm not doing it. I know people. I know a lot of people won't like the issue, but I feel that'd be funny as hell with the gag.
Yeah. That would be funny.
But that's it. I'll give it a consistent 7 to 8 out of 10.
Hmm.
That's really what I'll give every issue of this one. Very
That's
consistent.
cool.
Both.
That's cool. Same. But anyway, so I guess any final thoughts before we move on?
Grant Gustin to play Peter Parker. Grant Gustin with his full beard looks just like Ultimate Peter. I showed a picture to Jake like a while back. Grant Gustin with his full beard and mustache looks just like this.
That's fantastic
That's
for
it.
you. So, all right then. I guess with that, we should move on to Jake.
Yes.
Jakefer.
Secretly in the background, I've been watching this show because of YouTube Shorts called Krapopolis. This show stars the king of Krapopolis, Tyrannus, and his family as they go on their many misadventures. And yeah, that's basically it. His mother is a goddess, the goddess Deliria, who I think is supposed to be the goddess of delusions. I'm so pretty sure. There's only like a specific thing she does. But she's just one of the Greek goddesses. She was kicked off Mount Olympus, and now she basically wants to crash at her son's place and be worshipped for all time. I think this show, first I didn't really think much of it, and then they started having these weird episodes. It was like, wow, that was like a really great idea. For instance, there was one episode where there's a Hydra that lives in a cave, and Stupendous, who's the girl in the pink hair on the right, she sends to go kill it. So like humans can spread out and live over there. And the Hydra's like, nah, it's okay. I'll just leave. And she's like, oh really? She's like, yeah, I don't really want to fight anybody. I'm not like a killer. I just want to leave. And this conversation comes up between them when she finds out the Hydra is kind of lonely and all this stuff and it's going to kill itself.
Aww.
So Stupendous like, well, you could just live with me. And so what the episode does is it uses the concept of the Hydra's heads. Like when you cut off a Hydra's head, like two more grow up, right?
Yeah.
It starts off as like the Hydra gets his heads cut off, and then it cuts its own heads off, and it uses it as a phone line between the family, basically. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then it became a phone line to being the internet for the whole town, basically.
Wow.
Because everyone had basically a landline to the Hydra, so the Hydra could instantly communicate things back and forth within an instant. And then it became that to like, it became like a social media platform. It became like an AI, and then so I was like, wow, that was like a really fascinating story. And what I liked about it too was like how the whole time the only reason the Hydra was doing this just it wanted to be like it was tired of being hated. So like I felt bad because it was only being used like this because like I just want people to like me, really. I just don't want to be hated anymore. And it was like there were so many episodes like that where it takes like a modern concept but uses like the Greek trappings to make it work, or like how it will do things. Like there was one episode where there's an eclipse, and so I don't know if there's like real Greek lore or not, but they believe that the eclipse is caused by Zeus when he's angry, but Zeus isn't around, so they don't know what he's angry about, and so the gods blame Deliria for it, and so this winds up winding up being like Tyrannus, and them getting into an argument, and his brother, the fish guy, whose name escapes me, he asks Apollo like, well, I mean, you're the god of the sun. Why don't you just like move the sun? And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, yeah, just go up there and like move the sun, and you can move it back, but just to show that you can actually use your powers. How about you do that? He's like, okay, sure. And he goes up and tries to go to space, but like because of space, he like suffocates and goes back down to Earth, basically. This is where you get the reveal that like in this universe, the Greek gods are gods. Yes, they have powers and shit, but they're not really the gods of what they say they are. They're just kind of what Zeus said they were, just so they have something to do. That was like a really interesting idea. And how like and there was even one episode too where they had Tyrannus finds this conch shell, and it's a phone that for some reason talks to people in the future. So he and this archaeologist start talking to each other about like how Krapopolis will be remembered and all this shit, and it becomes like a whole meta commentary on like how history remembers people and like what they're responsible for. There's like it's like I was watching the show, I was like, wow, this is like I mean like it's not like Star Trek, but it's a very entertaining show to watch. And like some of the jokes are just like really humorous to me. I just kind of wanted to highlight it too because it made it to season 2 and it's already like 3 episodes in. We've already introduced the Norse gods in a very funny episode too, where Tyrannus accidentally breaks the tree of life. You just saw. So the Norse gods have to show up and all that. But yeah, like I said, there's just I don't really know how to recommend it other than like it's on Disney Plus. You can watch it on Hulu. Like I said, it's 2 seasons in. I can't really say it might be everyone's cup of tea. I would say some episodes are stronger than others. And just so you know, all the characters are kind of pieces of shit. All the main characters pieces of shit. I think one of my favorite characters though in the show is Shloob, who's like the Manticore guy. And only because he's so fucking honest, but he's also so fucking funny. Like he has this like really funny voice where like he says everything like this, and he's very honest about how he feels. And I like how he's also like very hypersexual too. He's Deliria's husband. And I think their relationship is so cute. It's like basically a polyamorous relationship, but they love each other so much. Like you just kind of wish that you had that type of relationship, basically. Even though they're both pieces of shit, they stick by each other no matter what, and they love each other, understand each other like nobody else. Deliria will be mean to everyone, her own kids, but her and Shloob, they're tight like that. But yeah, like I said, you can watch the show on Disney Plus, Hulu specifically. Highly entertaining for me. Yeah, just give it a shot. Krapopolis season 1, great. Can't wait to see how season 2 really ends. Hopefully they maybe explain what happened to Zeus because he has been missing from the show. So, yeah, there you go.
Sounds about cool. But alright then, I guess with that we can move on to the last topic of the night, audience.
What we have one after that. We have Deadpool.
Oh.
And the one,
yeah, the Deadpool's the last one, isn't it?
No, we had Bionicle after that.
Oh yeah, Bionicle. Sorry, the second to last, audience. Yes. All right. Yes. So okay.
Jake said you can never go home, but I have to pull out. I would think about everyone here.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it's been fun having you here, Austin. I'll tell you what happened in this issue afterwards. So
yeah, be safe. To be fair, I'm probably going to be watching, do some of my aunt. So I'll have my headphones in and watch and listen on YouTube.
Gotcha. All right then.
All right, be safe,
man. Cool. So, all right then. This is the Deadpool Venom War tie-in, issue number 2, audience. And why is this so significant? Because a little something like our boy Jimmy Hudson makes his return, and they don't forget that Jimmy Hudson's a poison, who apparently is kryptonite to symbiotes. You know, go figure. The one guy who turned Jimmy into a poison is the only guy who felt like he needed to bring Jimmy Hudson back all these years later. You know. Yeah, so the way this goes is, Deadpool and Princess and this new symbiote named Silence. They all seek refuge in Monsteropolis, which isn't doing too good now ever since they decided to screw the monarchy of kings and queens. We're going to go on to democracy. Oh crap, our city's in shambles. Because we can't decide who to lead Monsteropolis.
Switch to democracy.
I mean, when your choices are Frankenstein or the Loch Ness Monster, who do you pick?
No, I would choose the Loch Ness Monster, honestly.
Right, okay, the best choice considering the fact that Frankenstein literally has the brain of a serial killer, right?
See, that's why I'm a good one.
There you go. But anyway, this is when the zombiettes come invading, follow them and invade Monsteropolis. the symbiotes that possess a corpse, specifically a corpse. Yeah. So fight commences, this and that. Silence was able to break Man Thing free of his symbiote, right? And yeah, they were able to subdue the zombietes. And Deadpool's like convincing all the monsters, to come up to the surface and help with the fight against all these other symbiotes. But the monsters are like, no, no, like you know what the surface dwellers think of us. How many monster movies do you think have been made about us? Yeah, we know how you surface dwellers feel about us, all right, but Deadpool convinces them that hey, if the Venoms possess everyone on the surface, they're eventually gonna want to come down here too, right? So yeah, let's just save our own asses. So they go up to the surface, they're fighting this and that. Yeah, like this one moment where one little redheaded girl is about to be attacked by some of the Venoms out here, only for Frankenstein to come in and squeeze one of their necks, basically popping it like a balloon. Okay, I hope that person was somebody in jail, a former prisoner, since he's wearing a red jumpsuit, So, and the girl's hugging him, saying, "Oh, thank you for saving me," and then Deadpool around the background is like saying, "Great job, Frank. Just don't throw her in the river, all right?" So yeah, fight commences. Make a long story short, this is really Jimmy Hudson. His adrenaline is just heightening because of this, right? He's basically going berserker mode right now. Because remember, he already had his mind somewhat fractured already when he first came to the 616 universe after the Ultimate Universe blew up. So he had trouble remembering his past, but then he had to get possessed by a Venom. So that's already so the memories of the Venom from previous hosts are just colliding with his memories. And to top all that off, that poison came in and kind of did a number to both Jimmy's symbiote and Jimmy's mind as well. So you basically have three whammies going on at once. So yeah, he gets to the point where he's like, screw it, I'm killing anything that I see that looks like a monster at this point, I don't care if it's from the Monsteropolis or the Venoms, they all look the same to me, So, damn. He's killing his own allies, people.
Friendly fire has been activated.
Exactly. So this is the point where Deadpool kind of has to intervene, but he's too busy finding other symbiotes. So that's when Princess makes her grandstand. Princess being the Carnage dog that's considered Deadpool's daughter. Yeah, she comes in, but again, remember, audience, a poison. I don't know what is it about them, but yeah, they can hurt symbiotes. And unfortunately, it ends up brutally ripping a hole through Princess's chest. I gotta bring up this panel. Like, Deadpool's over the body of Princess. Princess, what's wrong? Get up, okay? Get up, no. Princess like, too much hurt. So much damage, Papa. So basically, this is the writer's take on Old Yeller, or in this case, Old Redder. Oh man, this was like a little bit tragic, Dang it, which of all the nights for you to make the topic, So, yeah, unfortunately, while this is going down, Jimmy is still running a rampage, this and that, and that's when you see the last remnants of Princess deciding to find solace by fusing with her papa. Here you go. Like, Deadpool's like even thinking, Okay, that's it. Symbiote healing. That's my girl. Okay, now we have to come up with a name. Let's see. Deadpool by night? Nah. Crap Wolf? Nah. Let's see. Oh, I got it. Princess Deadpool.
There you go.
Watch out, Disney. Watch out, fans of Marvel. You're about to get the new Disney princess here.
And
Look at her. Look
yeah,
at them.
she's like in Wreck-It Ralph 3.
Oh man, like nah, seriously, I'm really digging the design, this like wolf symbiote aesthetic for Deadpool because I already have a Venom Deadpool figure, so I like that they kept like the hair aesthetics and the claws. So looking good. The next fight is sure to be like a heavyweight boxing matchup between two characters that are basically amalgamations of several things at once. So yeah, much looking forward to it. Great issue. Thank you, Colin Budd, for coming back and writing Deadpool again. You're on my Mount Rushmore of Deadpool writers. So yeah, it. So alright then, we have just one more topic of the night, audience. Do-do-do.
And we are back with the Bionicles of the Toa of Metro Nui. They have successfully saved the city from the Morzabak, and believe it or not, we still haven't caught up to the events of the movie. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been. I've been reviewing this book for a couple of weeks, and we are still stuck in between the events of the opening of the movie and the second act of the movie. Basically, we are in a long montage. We have just the Toa previously have retrieved their Toa disc, the legendary disc, Kanoa disc, and with it they have defeated the Morzabak, but have drained almost all of their powers and need to recover. But after celebrating a job well done, a new threat from below awakens. Right before they can go up to the Coliseum and announce themselves as the new Toa. I'm actually really, oh my god, the guy who writes these books. I need to get his name. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, but the guy who writes this book, he knows how to do character dialogue because the character banter in these stories are great and unique. The dialogue banter that the Toa Metru have versus the Toa Nuva are different, and while they banter, they have like reasons for bantering. They're a lot different from each other. They feel unique. The Toa Metru are their own unique voice, not just a rehash of what we've had before. What we do get though is a flash forward to the future where we see Taraga Vakama. He's still explaining this story to the Matoran from Matanui, the island. And they're like, okay, well, it sounds like everything ended well. You beat the Morzabak. So like what? You were just like the legendary Toa Metru? And Taraga Vakama was like, no, not exactly. It's a bit more complicated than that. Listen, just because this part had a happy ending doesn't mean the story itself will have a happy ending. And so some of them are just kind of confused. Like, what's the point of you telling us this story? There has to be more to it than just getting us ready for the trip to Metro Nui. And Taraga Vakama was like, I'll tell you tomorrow. Let me just rest up. And I like the idea. Could you imagine, Cryptid, someone like telling you? I guess that's what I'm doing. But they're telling you this long story. And then like they cut the parts like, all right, and that's what we're in tonight. We'll start up tomorrow.
Whoa, come on.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger as a much. Come on.
And so, but anyway, we also have some updates on some characters. If you remember from my Mask of Light review, Holly from the Mask of Light movie has been upgraded to a chronicler. Basically, she's taken Takanuva's position of being the chronicler that goes around the island collecting stories and chronicling them. And so we got a little bit of an update on her life and how her and Jala are still friends. Jala is working on the boats to help sail over to Metro Nui. Everything's going good. I really like getting a little catch up on that. I also do like seeing the Mata Matorans really respond well to the idea that like, oh, the Toa Metro is legend, because from their knowledge, Toa were just kind of born. Like the Toa Nuva were born Toa. They're just born heroes. But hearing that the Toa Metru were Matorans who became Toa heroes, is like a revolutionary idea to them, and it seems to inspire them. So that I really like that detail. Anyway, so we cut back to the past, and as the Toa are celebrating a job well done, there is now the decision of like who really gets to be the leader of the team. Vakama led the last mission, and Nokama, Toa of Water, she really wants Vakama to lead because she thinks he's good at it. But Vakama's like, I don't really want to. And it's mainly because he can tell that the rest of the team doesn't have confidence in him. Literally, everyone saw how like efficient his leadership was, and they're still like, I don't think you'd be a good fit for the team. It was just like, I led you guys into battle against certain death, and we won, and you still don't believe in me? I must be shit. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So he wants to step down as leader, but Nakama thinks this is a mistake. But everyone else is gunning for leadership. Nakama feels like, regardless of who is the leader, they have to decide soon. But this gets interrupted by Nuparu, a Nuparu cameo. I didn't really talk about him much, but Nuparu was in the Borakal book. He will eventually create a weapon that can combat the Borak. But right now, this is before then, and he's reporting how he might have accidentally started a flood in Onimetru, basically. And this makes Wanua upset. Wanua, who's an Onu, the Toa of Earth, so he's in charge of Onimetru. So he's kind of upset with them, but they get down to business, and he's like, okay, well, listen. I know it's important for you guys to be Toa heroes, so you go to the Coliseum, I'll handle this. And everyone's like, no, we're not going to do that. Then we look bad. Imagine if we went up to tell people, Cryptid, imagine if the Avengers made their debut and Captain America was missing, and everyone's like, well, where's Captain America? He's like, oh, he's busy saving the world while we tell you that we're the new heroes. You look shitty. So they're like, you know what?
I know, Bionicles assembled doesn't sound so appropriate, but I can't really say it, you know?
Toa assemble. How about that? But they go, so the Toa all decide that we're going to do this one last side quest before we start the movie. We're going to do this one last side quest and go fix Onimetru before it starts flooding. And what I love about here too, again, the banter of these. So in the original, the Toa Nuva from the last series, they bantered like siblings. This team banters like their coworkers, which I really appreciate. The banter is, and it's really well written down. Like I can't stress enough how good the dialogue in this book is. It's so good. And it makes you really like when you read it, it makes me want to act out what they're saying. That's how good the dialogue is, basically. But as they're exploring the underground tunnels under Nua's lead, they wind up getting into a fight with a Rakshi. Again, the Rakshi making another appearance in the story. But this Rakshi is different. It's a golden Rakshi, which is like weird because there shouldn't be one. But they wind up getting into a fight, and they wind up getting separated, and so from the Rakshi. And in the fight, Vakama and Nokama accidentally hurt each other. And I actually like this because this is the first time Nokama gets actually angry at Vakama. Usually, Nokama is always in Vakama's on Vakama's side. So her getting mad at him is like kind of a big deal. But she realizes that like Vakama didn't mean to do it, and she reconciles, but she feels bad. Like this tears her up for the rest of the arc. She's like, man, no one on this team seems to really like me, and the one guy I actually do respect and like, I started a fight with him over like basically nothing. It wasn't even his fault. I feel like a shithead. So, and I was like, that's adorable. And I also like that Vakama sees the leadership potential so hard in Vakama. Like she's like, Vakama, I don't understand why you don't lead. Like you know how to do it. But we also see from Vakama's perspective how he feels like, from his perspective, this is how he sees it. I was just a mask maker. I had a 9-to-5 job. I was by myself for like all my life. And then one day my hero shows up and says, hey, you're a Toa, now go save the city and now go fight the ancient evil that lives under our basement. He's like, okay. So being a Toa is something he's not really thrilled about. Like he understands he has to do it, but he doesn't really want to, let alone lead. He's just not confident. He doesn't have the confidence for it. He doesn't even know if he wants to do this for the rest of his life. But this is where things get really interesting. So down in the basement, as they all decide to split up, and Nokama is the first to go, and she gets jumped by this Rakshi. the Golden Rock shows up and attacks her and knocks her out. And then Vakama is on his own. He runs into Nokama. And they have some talk, but Nokama's acting a bit weird. And then Nokama beats the dog shit out of Vakama. And she's like, why did she attack me? And then Vakama has a vision. And he sees Anua is knocked out. And Vakama is the one who has beaten him. And that's actually happened. Like Anua's like, wait, why Vakama just attacked me? What the fuck? What's going on? And Nokama realizes that they're being attacked by a shapeshifter, essentially. But because she doesn't know who is the shapeshifter, and none of them know the rest of them don't know there's a shapeshifter, they are all fighting each other, and they nearly tear their own heads off, basically. This basically, luckily where I stop here, the Toa have realized what they're up against, but they really have no idea how to deal with it. So the next part, again, before we get to the movie, I have one more part, where the next part of this journey is going to be the Toa Metru having to come up with a plan to deal with the shapeshifter. What I like about this is that I like the theme here is that the Toa have already understood their duty, but this is an enemy that attacks their unity, their teamwork. So figuring out how they're gonna, because they already don't really seem to like each other that much beyond just being coworkers, seeing how they're gonna rally together and save the day is gonna be interesting to see. Like I said, this is a great read. The City of Legends, Bionicle's City of Legends is such a fun read. I really love reading this story week to week. It's just a long book. And I gotta get through it because I'm really trying to get to the Toa Ignika saga, but we'll get there. I would highly recommend this book to anyone who wants to read it. You can read it for free on Crossfire Geeks. And the more I read this, the more I'm like, dang, I really hope Bionicle reboots correctly next time, because this is, again, it's surprisingly good stuff. But yeah, that is Bionicle. Very excited, very good stuff. And that's it. That's our night.
Sounds pretty cool. Yeah. But all right, audience. Yeah. Thanks for sticking with us for this long. Wow. It was just down to two of us tonight at the end, man.
That's true. But we helped a lot.
Yeah. That's true. So, all right, then, audience, we're going to get some extra sleep. So, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.